Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. Tonight we're going to be, diving deep into something pretty fascinating, I think. Something we all do every single night.
We do indeed.
Sleep.
Yeah.
But, and here's the twist, we're not just talking about catching those Z's, getting your 8 hours. We're going to be looking at it through the lens of Buddhist philosophy, which sees sleep as this incredible gateway to understanding, ourselves, our minds, even reality itself. Pretty wild, right?
It is. It's a really rich area of exploration. And Buddhism actually, it breaks down sleep into these three distinct landscapes, three territories our consciousness kind of travels through.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
So we've got the realm of illusions, which we all know and love, dreams.
Yeah, those.
Then there are these subtle energy fields. This is where things get really interesting, kind of venturing into out-of-body experiences, stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then the third one, the void, that deep, dreamless sleep, a total absence of, everything.
It's funny, you say that, and I instantly think of that feeling, when you wake up from a super vivid dream.
Yeah.
And for a split second, you're like, wait, was that real? Or was it a dream? It's so disorienting, but also kind of makes you think.
It does.
It makes you wonder if maybe, just maybe, our waking reality isn't as solid and fixed as we tend to believe.
Exactly.
So that's what we're going to be exploring tonight, these Buddhist insights into sleep, what they reveal about our consciousness, the nature of reality, even life and death. Big stuff.
It is.
So let's kick things off with this idea of life is a dream and how sleep can be seen as this nightly reflection of that.
All right. Well, first we need to touch upon this really key Buddhist concept, Maya.
Maya.
It essentially suggests that the reality we experience every day, as real as it seems, it's not actually the ultimate truth.
Okay, so an illusion then.
Yeah, in a way. Think of it like this. When you're in a dream, it feels totally real, right?
Yeah.
The emotions are intense, the sensations are vivid, but then you wake up and it's like, poof, gone. You realize it was all just a mental construct.
Yeah, it's that moment of, whoa, that felt so real, but it wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Buddhism suggests that our waking life, in a way, operates similarly. We get so caught up in the drama, the emotions, the physical world around us. But ultimately, it's all transient, ever-changing, like a flowing river.
Makes sense. And sleep, then, gives us these little nightly glimpses into that impermanence.
It does.
Okay, so let's get into the first landscape of sleep, the realm of illusions, dreams. Most of us, I think, kind of brush them off as just random brain activity. But Buddhist philosophy takes a much deeper approach.
It does. Dreams aren't just meaningless noise. They're seen as direct reflections of our inner world. It's like all those thoughts, those unresolved emotions, subconscious patterns, they all come bubbling up to the surface when we're asleep.
Like a nightly show put on by our subconscious.
Exactly. And then, within Tibetan Buddhism, there's this fascinating practice, dream yoga, which really takes this idea to another level.
Dream yoga, yeah. I've heard a bit about it.
It's about actively engaging with your dreams, consciously exploring them to uncover deeper truths about yourself.
So it's not just about remembering your dreams, it's about understanding them, working with them.
Right. Like say you keep having recurring nightmares.
Uh-oh.
Well, that could be a sign, right? Pointing towards underlying anxieties or maybe some emotional tension you haven't fully dealt with in your waking life.
I see, yeah.
And then you've got dreams that are just chaotic, full of agitation. That could suggest a restless mind, maybe overstimulated.
Okay, yeah.
And on the flip side, dreams that are really vivid, clear, and they leave you feeling like, whoa, that was profound. Those can point towards a growing inner awareness.
So it's like learning to read the language of your dreams.
It is. And it's fascinating how this actually aligns with a lot of modern psychology too. You know, how these see dreams as a way for our minds to process emotions, integrate experiences from the day.
It's like this ancient wisdom that's now being backed up by modern science.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. And then some Buddhist teachings go even further, suggesting that some dreams, those really powerful, vivid ones, they might be more than just psychological processing.
It's not even just processing, huh?
Yeah, like maybe glimpses into past lives, explorations of alternative realities, or even channels for deep intuition, messages from our subconscious.
Wow. Okay.
Have you ever had a dream like that? A dream that felt so incredibly real, so detailed, that it stayed with you long after you woke up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some dreams, they feel less like random brain stuff and more like, I don't know, like an actual journey to somewhere else.
Right.
And this actually leads us perfectly into the next aspect of sleep in Buddhist thought, the realm of energy fields. And this is where we get into like out-of-body experiences, right? Which I know for some people might sound a little, well, out there.
It can,
Hmm.
but it really makes us question, what are the boundaries of our existence?
Right.
And you see this idea of consciousness extending beyond the physical body, especially during sleep, across many spiritual traditions, Buddhism included. Astral projection, for example.
Yeah, astral projection.
And then in Buddhist and Hindu philosophies, you have the concept of the subtle body, this energy form that exists beyond our physical matter.
This subtle body. So what happens to this subtle body during sleep?
Well, the idea is that during deep sleep, it can actually travel, unconstrained by our physical senses.
Whoa.
People who report these kinds of experiences, they often describe feeling like they're floating, flying, or even encountering beings or realms that are totally outside our normal perception.
It's like our consciousness is taking a little trip while our body rests.
It is, and this actually connects in some ways to like lucid dreaming, where you're aware you're dreaming and can sometimes even control the dream.
Right, right.
And even to near-death experiences, where consciousness seems to function independently of the physical body. It really challenges our understanding of reality,
Yeah.
what's real, what's not real.
It totally does. It expands the possibilities. Okay, so then we come to the third aspect, the void. That state of deep, dreamless sleep. No images, no thoughts, just pure nothingness.
Yeah, the void.
Now, you would think that would be like the least interesting part of sleep. But in Buddhist philosophy, it's actually super significant.
It is, because this state, as empty as it seems, it's actually compared to samadhi, the highest state of meditative absorption,
Samadhi.
where the mind basically dissolves into pure awareness.
Okay.
So deep sleep, it's like the closest we naturally get to this state of complete stillness. It's a pause for the ego, a break from all the mental chatter.
It is. It's amazing when you think about it. Every night we just kind of cease to exist, consciously at least. All our worries, our desires, our sense of self, gone. Poof.
Gone.
And yet we always come back.
We do.
It makes you wonder, where does that you, that essence, where does it go during that time?
That's the big question. Some Buddhist masters see it as a temporary return to, like, the source, the ground of being, emerging with everything.
Well,
And it's interesting, modern neuroscience also emphasizes the importance of deep sleep for our brains.
yeah.
For healing, rejuvenation.
Right, yeah. Okay, so we've covered these three landscapes of sleep, these three distinct states. But what does it all actually mean for us, in our day-to-day lives? It's clearly more than just aiming for 8 hours a night.
Oh, absolutely. Our sleep experience, it's full of insights. Our dreams, they're like a mirror reflecting our inner world back to us.
Right.
And the awareness we can cultivate in our sleep, especially in our dreams, it directly reflects how mindful we are when we're awake.
I see.
And then the ability to just let go, surrender to that void of deep sleep. Well, that reflects our ability to let go of attachments, deal with challenges, and suffering in life.
It's like a nightly training ground for our minds and spirits.
It is.
And there's this powerful idea that really sticks with me. If you can wake up within a dream, you can wake up within life. And if you can master your sleep, you can master your mind.
I love that. It really gets to the heart of it.
It does.
Because Buddhism, it suggests that our waking reality, the one we experience every day, it's also a form of a dream,
Oh, wow.
It's constantly changing, impermanent.
So, like, becoming aware within a dream, realizing it's an illusion while you're still in it, that's training for recognizing the illusions of waking life.
Exactly. The question is, when will we wake up to the true nature of reality?
When will we wake up? That's a big one. And it brings us to this idea of, like, actively cultivating awareness in our dreams, this path towards conscious sleep.
Right. It's not just about observing what happens when we sleep. It's about engaging with it, shaping it.
So instead of passively drifting through our nights, we can actually be more present, more conscious.
Exactly. And Buddhist teachings, they emphasize that how we sleep, it mirrors our overall level of awareness when we're awake.
Okay, so more mindfulness in daily life equals more awareness in our dreams.
Yeah. And that connection, it also extends to how we approach death.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The way we sleep, it can actually provide insights into how we might experience that ultimate transition.
That's powerful. And it makes sense when you think about how real dreams feel. You're there in the moment reacting to things.
It's totally convincing.
And then you wake up and it's like, poof, it was all in your head.
That moment of realization, recognizing that what felt so real was ultimately a creation of your mind, that's a crucial insight.
It is.
Because Buddhist philosophy suggests that our waking reality, It might also be a form of illusion, just a more persistent, more complex one.
A bigger dream, in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
And there's this great quote from Zen master Han Po. He said, "Do not search for the truth, only cease to cherish opinions."
Cease to cherish opinions.
It's about how clinging to our fixed perceptions, our beliefs about reality, that's what keeps us trapped in the illusion.
I like that. So practices like dream yoga, they're not just about, having cool, controllable dreams.
No.
They're about something much deeper.
It's about training the mind to see through illusions, both in dreams and in waking life.
It's about cultivating that inner observer.
The witness.
The witness, yeah.
Exactly. The one who can observe without getting totally swept away. And you see this idea in Tibetan Buddhism, how they view sleep as actual training for enlightenment.
Training for enlightenment, wow.
Yeah. And the ability to wake up within a dream, that's seen as a big step towards awakening in a much broader sense.
So basically, becoming more awake in our dreams starts with becoming more awake in our daily lives.
Exactly. And there are some practical steps you can take to cultivate that.
Okay, let's hear them.
All right. So the first one is cultivating awareness in our everyday lives. And a simple but powerful practice for this is to ask yourself throughout the day, am I dreaming?
Am I dreaming?
Just that simple question can really shift your perspective.
How so?
Well, when you regularly pause, to question the nature of your reality, you become more present, more aware of the details of your experience.
You start noticing things you might otherwise miss.
Exactly. You start to see the impermanence, the constant change in everything. And that habit of questioning, observing, it can actually carry over into your dreams, making you more likely to recognize when you are dreaming.
I see. So it's like training your mind to be this constant observer.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the second step?
The second one is strengthening your intention before you go to sleep.
Okay.
So before you drift off, set a clear intention to be aware in your dreams.
So like literally saying to yourself, tonight, I'm going to be aware in my dream.
Yeah. You're basically planting that seed in your subconscious.
Okay.
And practices like meditation, repeating mantras like this is a dream, can really reinforce that intention.
So focusing your mind on awareness as you fall asleep.
Exactly.
And the third practice.
Letting go.
Letting go, huh?
Yeah. This one's all about understanding the paradox of control.
The paradox of control, what do you mean?
Well, if you try too hard to control a dream, to force it to go a certain way, it often backfires. The dream might become unstable or even disappear.
Interesting.
It's the same in waking life. Clinging too tightly to outcomes, resisting change, it often leads to suffering.
Yeah, I can see that.
So learning to observe your dreams without trying to control them, to let them unfold naturally, that cultivates surrender, acceptance.
So letting go in the dream state is like practicing letting go in our waking lives.
Exactly.
This is also fascinating, and it connects to this idea of like sleep being the little death, right?
It does.
Which is a pretty powerful metaphor.
It is. The idea is that when we enter deep sleep, our ego, our sense of self, it dissolves.
Yeah.
And that's seen as a parallel to the experience of death.
Okay, so this nightly cycle of falling asleep, waking up, it mirrors the bigger cycle of birth and death.
Exactly. And just like we usually don't remember where we go in deep sleep, we also don't have memories of our state before birth.
It makes you think about what exists beyond our conscious awareness.
It does. And it suggests that how we experience sleep, it might offer clues to how we'll experience death.
Okay, so if we're unconscious, reactive in our sleep, maybe we'll approach death in a similar way.
Yeah. And if we panic, struggle in our dreams, that could reflect anxieties about the transition beyond this life.
But if we cultivate awareness in our dreams, remain conscious.
Then there's a possibility of maintaining that awareness at death.
So practices like dream yoga, meditation, they're not just about better sleep, they're about preparing for that final awakening.
That's right.
Wow, this is heavy stuff, but it's also really empowering.
It is.
And the great thing is, these principles, they're not limited to any specific belief system.
No, not at all.
Anyone can apply them.
Absolutely. Questioning your reality, cultivating mindfulness, setting intentions, letting go of the country, these are tools for everyone.
Even just reflecting on that nightly cycle of disappearing and returning during sleep, that can give us a deeper understanding of impermanence, the cyclical nature of life.
And our connection to something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah. It's like that saying, the greatest awakening is not just realizing you are dreaming within your sleep. It is the profound realization that life itself is a dream.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
And once you see that, you're not trapped by it anymore. You're free.
You're free. All right, so we're heading into the final part of our deep dive tonight. The final awakening, mastering the art of sleep and consciousness.
Great.
And it starts with that familiar feeling of drifting off to sleep, the world kind of fading away. What's the significance of that nightly surrender?
It's such a universal experience,
Yeah.
that moment of letting go of control.
Yeah.
And it really reflects these bigger transitions like we've been talking about.
The cyclical nature of sleep mirroring the cycles of life and death.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, who is it that comes back each morning? Is it really the same you that drifted off? Or has something shifted?
That's a great question.
It is. And understanding sleep in this deep philosophical way, it can really lead to a deeper understanding of reality itself.
And it challenges this idea of a fixed, unchanging self, right? There's that Zen come, before you were born, what was your original face?
Yeah, I love that one.
It's meant to make us question our idea of a permanent identity. How does that relate to our exploration of sleep?
Well, every night when we enter deep sleep, our ego, our sense of self, it disappears.
Right.
All our worries, our stories, our labels, they all vanish.
And yet we're not afraid of that nightly disappearance.
We're not. Maybe deep down we recognize that there's something more essential, beyond our fleeting thoughts and emotions.
Like an underlying essence that's always there.
Yeah. And this ties into the Buddhist concept of anatta, no self.
No self.
The idea that our identity, the one we cling to so tightly, it's actually a temporary construct, like the characters in our dreams.
So if our sense of self dissolves every night without any real fear, maybe we can be more prepared for the eventual fading of this dream we call waking life.
Maybe so.
It really blurs the lines between real and unreal. And the teachings connect this to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Bardo Thodol,
Yes.
which talks about the Bardo, that intermediate state between death and rebirth. What's the connection between sleep and this Bardo state?
Well, it's actually pretty surprising. We enter a kind of bardo every night when we fall asleep.
Every night.
Yeah. So sleep, in a way, is like a nightly rehearsal for death.
Whoa.
And our dreams, they can be seen as glimpses into what might lie beyond this life.
Okay.
Think about it. In dreams, we exist without our physical bodies. We can move without limitations, perceive things without our usual senses.
It's true.
And those experiences, they're very similar to the descriptions of the Bardo state in the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Wow.
And waking up from a dream, it's like waking up from the illusion of this life at the moment of death.
So learning to be aware in our dreams through dream yoga, it's not just about improving our dreams, it's about preparing for that ultimate transition.
It is. It's about training our minds to navigate those realms beyond our ordinary perception.
To stay conscious even when everything familiar dissolves.
Exactly.
The teachings offer 3 practices to help us integrate this wisdom into our lives.
Okay.
The first one is letting go before sleep, reflecting on the impermanence of each day. How can we do that effectively?
Well, at the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on how everything you experienced is fleeting.
Yeah.
Release your attachments, regrets, desires. Acknowledge that it was all just a passing phenomenon.
Just a passing dream.
Exactly. This cultivates peace before sleep and prepares you for that ultimate surrender at death.
It's a beautiful practice.
It is. You can even say to yourself, as you lie down, everything I experienced today, it's just a passing dream. I release it. I surrender to the flow of life.
I surrender to the flow of life.
Yeah.
The second practice is entering sleep with awareness. So instead of just drifting off unconsciously, we do it mindfully. What are some steps for that?
This is about bringing the mindfulness we practice during the day into that transition to sleep.
Okay.
So take some deep, conscious breaths.
Yeah.
Focus on the present moment. Set the intention to be aware in your dreams.
Connecting our waking awareness to our sleeping awareness.
Exactly.
And the final practice is waking up differently, taking a pause before jumping into the day and asking, where was I just now? And who am I before my thoughts begin?
Yeah. That pause, it's like a mini bardo. It mirrors that space between death and rebirth.
Wow.
By gently inquiring into your being before the mental chatter starts, you get a glimpse of a deeper level of consciousness.
It's a fresh perspective to carry into the day.
It is.
So much wisdom in these teachings, and it all culminates in this powerful quote: "The world is illusory, only the awakened see the truth."
It's a challenge, isn't it, to our perception of reality?
It is. But the nightly cycle of disappearing and returning during sleep, it reminds us that we're connected to something so much bigger than our waking selves.
Absolutely. And it all comes down to this. The way you sleep is the way you live. The way you dream is the way you die. And the way you wake up each morning is the way you will wake up beyond this life.
That's beautiful.
It is. And it leaves us with these questions. Are you truly awake, or are you still dreaming? And if you are dreaming, when will you wake up?
What powerful questions to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the wisdom of sleep and consciousness. It's clear that sleep is so much more than just rest.
It is.
It's an incredible opportunity for self-discovery, for understanding the nature of reality. We encourage you to reflect on your own sleep experiences in light of what we discussed tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe explore practices like mindfulness, dream yoga, and tonight, as you drift off, perhaps ask yourself, what kind of dream will I awaken from?
Good night, everyone.